What's up, everybody? I'm Tyler Caldwell.
I'm Steve Mobby.
I'm Alan Britt.
And I'm Trent Smith.
And thank you for joining us for another wonderful episode of Mystery Review. This is the cigar edition, of course. And we are in the beautiful month of March.
Happy March Madness to those who celebrate.
Madness.
Weather's warming up here. I mean,
We always talk about the weather.
because it matters.
Because it's an important conversation.
We're getting
that
older.
the people want to hear about. We're getting older.
The people want to know what it's like in Myrtle Beach, South
Weather
Carolina.
always gets the A block. I don't understand. It's like introduction, weather.
So the best thing to
Tobacco.
do is to draw more attention to it.
Right.
And
Yes,
extend the
yes,
conversation
exactly.
about weather.
I mean, I would imagine there's at least one watcher of these videos who just wants to live vicariously, not only
Like,
through what we
wonder
smoke,
how the
but
weather is over
If
there.
you care about the weather, let us know in the comments.
And if you don't let it.
comment what the weather is like for you right now.
So this mystery cigar. The
Yes.
Mystery
So
cigar,
who's
yeah.
our inquisitor?
we got Mr. Scott Lewis of Warped Cigars. Wonderful dude. We just recently got to spend a lot of time with him. He was here. We got some other videos with him available on the website. And he was nice enough to provide us with something that's tasting pretty interesting so far.
Yeah.
And it definitely looks interesting, at least in the context of Warp's portfolio. I think Alan said immediately, he was like, box press. What box press does Warped have? So
I mean, to me, they're being a big fanboy of Warped, like, they do make some box presses, like some of the bits
Corto.
of Havana, the Corto. I want to say there's a handful of other ones, but nothing that really, in the coloration of the wrapper, that I can think of that comes in a box press.
Right.
Yeah. I'll put it this way. I don't think that I have ever smoked.
I've never smoked a Warped
Right.
box press. Yeah.
So I'm already lost on this.
So, yeah, definitely. What I more so meant by that was like nothing they box press looks like this.
Right.
It's
Oh.
like definitely Corto. You've got bits of Havana.
Are those like harder box press and this is a little softer?
Well, no, just
or
this
the
size and this
Size.
color.
I would say
Yeah.
more of that kind of soft box press on them.
Yeah. But it's tasty.
Yeah. There's kind of a lot going on.
Yeah.
Flavor profile is sort of right up my alley.
It's pretty like typical of what Kyle likes to do, at least in my experience of smoking Warped.
So
Some
typically,
pepper on the retro.
yeah. These days he's using majority two factories, Aganorsa and La Isla.
And well, he does still
said
do a lot
Miami.
with El Titan
Teton?
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Teton,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
But his El Titan stuff, you're talking
That's
like
the
El Camino.
the
It's
high
like
end,
top of the
super
line.
limited stuff.
Our smoking pipes also.
Yes.
Also.
Right.
If you haven't smoked Domain,
Domain.
or what's the Connecticut, not Domain, the one that just came out.
Oh, geez. Now that you put me on the spot, I
Yeah.
am completely lost for words for it.
I
But
can't
yes,
recall.
that
You've never
one.
been lost for words.
But
I lose a lot of things, especially my mind.
it's an amazing cigar.
yeah.
Warped has always been one of those companies for me where they don't really miss with anything. Like, I've always been a believer that, not every, as much as you like a certain brand and everything, like, it's not that I enjoy every single cigar from them.
Sure.
Because they just don't always fit my profile.
Sure.
Where Warped to me, like, everything they've ever released, like, I've enjoyed. Like, I've never had a Warped that I didn't like.
Right. It was one of the first boutique brands that I got into when I first started really getting into
same for
cigars
me.
and nerding out.
I've slacked on keeping up with their releases.
Yeah,
though. Like
same.
I was mentioning before we started filming, like I've been smoking the OG stuff, like Maestro del Tiempo. I don't know, like La Colmena, obviously. But their new stuff, like I feel like Kyle's been putting out stuff so fast that I haven't been able to keep up with it.
like there's-
So if this isn't like newish release, I'm gonna be hard pressed to guess it.
It seems like he's always blending something new. Like you always see him on like the Facebook group and all that, and he's always playing with tobacco
Right.
and blending something and dropping something new. Even in with his drop,
Drop Club, yeah.
yeah, Drop Club, he's putting out stuff super regularly, but it's fun.
Yeah, I don't know if like I don't know how to necessarily explain it, but it seems it's not that he's moving away from like a core line, but it definitely seems like Warped is going kind of exclusively sort of small batchy. Like, hey, we've got this cool tobacco, we've got this like batch of stuff. let's make a line, we'll drop it, and once it's gone, but we'll be doing that like all the way throughout the year. So everything's kind of exclusive, but there's enough of it to keep for everyone type of thing.
Yeah.
It seems like he's been doing that for like forever though. Like I remember I didn't know a ton about Warped when I first came here to Low Country Pipe and Cigar, and I talked to Tim Vanderpool, who used to run the shop.
Shout
here.
out Tim.
Tim.
Shout out Timmy.
If you're in Omaha, check out Nickelby's Cigars.
And it was a release of the 5102R, I believe.
The Maestro.
Yeah,
the one that came
Maestro
with like the
del
100.
Tiempo.
Yeah, that one was
And
excellent.
Tim explained to me that Kyle kind of made whatever he wanted when he wanted, and there was no idea when it would be released again. And he's kind of rang true to that throughout the years.
Yeah,
It's a really artistic
And it's
approach.
worked for him.
Like
Yeah.
it's kind of like a band.
Yeah.
Like
Putting out music when they
when
feel
they feel it's
creative,
ready.
when they
Yeah,
got a
yeah,
project
yeah.
that they can stand
And
on.
obviously you
That's a
have
really good point.
Obviously you have record deals, and like some bands are in a tight spot where like you have to produce a record in so many years or whatever. But Kyle's
Definitely
definitely
that,
that.
like hard-headed indie
Indie
artist. who's
artist,
like, nope,
yeah.
I'm doing it when I want to do it.
And he might put out 3 albums in a year because he's
Mhm.
just super
Yeah.
in the zone and prolific. But it might be a year or two before the next one comes out.
You know, to kind of piggyback off of that, I think another interesting thing about Kyle Gellis with Warped is that, you know, when you get into sort of like the bigger box brands, you know, they're going to come out with like, here's a new blend, but here's 5-6 sizes of it.
Right.
Where,
Yeah, that's a
where
good
Kyle was more like, he's only going to release it if I know they taste good in these sizes. So that's
Blending
why,
to the size rather than
right.
just
So
making
that's why
sizes out of the
sometimes you'll
blend.
find that he will come out with 4, or he will come out with just 1 or just 2. And I think going along with that like artist mindset, I think that really just fits his profile also.
Yeah. And that speaks to a lot of the reason why, like you say, you've never had a bad one, because he's only making sure that he's putting
Yeah,
something
yeah,
out if
yeah,
it's
yeah.
that quality. And I think whatever this is, it's right in line with that. Like this has been impressive so far.
Yeah.
There's kind of a lot of complexity going on.
Yeah, we talked a
here.
lot about the brand. What are you getting flavor wise?
I would say so far there's like this kind of predominant like buttery creaminess.
Yep.
Especially like in the texture and the body.
Yeah, it's super buttery.
Yep.
But like you said, like there's a little touch of like pepperiness on the retro, but there's like a little bit of like a woodsiness.
I was gonna say like a musty oakiness.
Yeah.
It
It's
reminds
really
me of a
familiar.
bourbon barrel. Yeah.
And I don't, it's especially the butteriness or whatever. Like, I can't recall if it's a Warped cigar or just a specific type of tobacco that I've encountered that, but this is super familiar, which is not a good sign.
So what you're saying is you smoked one of these last night.
Yeah, right. I wish.
No, seriously, the butteriness is really what's sticking out to me the most, which also I wish I had another cup of coffee to go with it, because I feel like it would go really well, like hand in hand.
Yeah, the Retro Hill's super
Alan
complex.
flexing on you over here.
Isn't that water?
It's actually water.
Yeah, the Retro Hill's...
Way to ruin the magic.
Sorry.
Anyway, the Retro Hill.
It's super complex.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out if I think it's one of the 3 factories he uses, and normally you can tell, like you smoke an Aganorsa product, it's Aganorsa.
Yeah, you can
I'm
definitely
kind
get
of
that
torn
taste.
on this.
Right.
This does not feel like the
No,
Norset to me.
I was going to say no Aganorsa on this.
Yeah.
But you're thinking maybe?
There's like a part of me that like, I know we've explained it in these videos multiple times, but Aganorsa has like this signature flavor.
Yeah.
And to me, it's everything is high. Like it's on a high spectrum of flavor, like bright, zinc,
Yeah, bright. Okay.
citrusy.
Yep.
And I get that,
Yeah.
but like I don't get anything else that I would, call Aganorsa.
I don't. Yeah. No, I mean, once you say Aganorsa, it's like my mind is like, oh yeah, this kind of does taste.
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Kind of like going along with that is, you can sometimes, we've been smoking long enough to where we can kind of be like, this gives me Nicaraguan vibes, this gives me Dominican vibes. where honestly, like, I don't know if I could pinpoint any of that right now because it's blending so well together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on, and it's blending very well together. For me, it's tough to like pick out those standard markers of like nationality or whatever it might be.
It's crazy balance.
There is a Corojo vibe. Or
Yeah.
what's the other one? What? I'm having a brain fart now too. Corojo and then Criollo. I always get them mixed up, so I'm getting one of those vibes, and I always flip flop them.
If I had to take an early stab at the dark here, I almost get like Sumatra vibe, just because of that creaminess. And I'm starting to get a little bit of like a type of like nuttiness to go with it, which I'm
Marzipan?
a big
Marzipan?
marzipan. No, not this time.
That's hard to believe. There's
Shane's
gotta be
not,
some
Shane's not
marzipan.
here, so there's no marzipan.
Shout out Shane. Sorry you can't be here, brother.
No, I can't remember if I put it in, texted Shane directly or put it in a group chat, but I tasted marzipan in a cigar recently, and I just was like, Shane would love it.
You're
Texted
very
and was
proud.
like, you'll never guess what I tasted just then.
Yes, he will guess. Yeah, his first guess.
He would tell you exactly what you're smoking. You missed your review,
Yeah, I actually like. I don't know if it's psychosomatic because you just said it, but I wasn't tasting nuttiness at all. And then like 2 puffs after, don't give me that smirk over there. And then 2 puffs after you said it, I was like, oh yeah, there it is. There's the nuts.
Sounds really psychosomatic when you put it that way.
No, it's like a little like slightly like salty peanut kind of vibe.
Yeah,
going on
yeah,
with it.
like peanutty, not like almond or anything like that. Yeah, like peanutty,
Oh man, this is gonna be a tough
which I
one.
guess is not technically a nut, so maybe that's why I wasn't.
Is
picking
a
up on
peanut
it.
not a nut?
It's a
The
legume.
legume.
It's a bean.
Wow.
Yeah,
No way.
yeah.
I didn't know that.
So this isn't nutty. This is beanie.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and that got a nice
Man,
beanie.
you guys just
beanie
blew my
flavor in
mind.
here.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, change your whole worldview.
Getting garbanzo. Garbanzo.
There's definitely some pinto in there.
I'm a kidney bean boy for sure. Now.
A little baked bean going on.
Honestly,
Boston.
there are not many bad beans.
Yeah.
Like, beans are pretty solid.
Yeah, they're consistent.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of I make at home the Jamaican rice and peas. It's just rice and kidney beans, but for some reason.
But it sounds way better when
yeah,
when you say
it sounds really cool when I
Doesn't
tell my
it?
wife I'm making rice and peas.
Are you saying beans or peas?
Peas.
Peas. Okay.
But like it's kidney beans.
Oh.
But like Jamaicans call them peas.
Okay.
Okay.
I like their way with words, man.
You like the way
That's
they name
fair.
foods?
Yes.
That's fair. Yes, I
Okay.
do.
Okay. So yeah, we got some garbanzo.
We got some peanuts. Yeah.
What do you think of True?
So what's going through my mind right now is Kyle works a lot with Nicaraguan tobacco and also
Yeah.
Dominican tobacco.
Yeah.
This doesn't hit strongly either way for me. However, there have been numerous mystery reviews where I've been like, oh, this doesn't seem Nicaraguan at all. This must be Dominican and, I don't know, Sumatran or something
Right.
like that. And it's a Nicaraguan Puro. Because Nicaraguan tobacco, I can't explain it from a like blending perspective, but like it seems to be able to have a super wide spectrum of flavors.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm hedging my bets on here is like, this doesn't feel super Nicaraguan, but could it be a Nicaraguan Puro? Maybe some Dominican, because it does have a Dominican vibe, like
Yeah.
that creaminess,
Yeah, I
that
can
floral
definitely see
notes
some
a little bit.
Dominican.
Like those kind of hit on the Dominican side of things for me. So that's kind of where I'm leaning. As for the wrapper, I mean, it's pretty like standard Habano type thing.
So, real quick, to touch on the Nicaraguan kind of regional flavor varietal thing. You weren't here for the episode we filmed with Juan from Hoya. He actually did an amazing job breaking down that for us.
Nice.
Yeah. So, like, if you haven't watched it, you should. If you haven't watched it, you should.
Can you give me like the Spark Notes, Cliff Notes version?
I don't remember.
Okay.
But
So you should
basically-
watch it.
Yeah, you should watch
I'll
it
go
too,
back and watch
but it was
it.
informative.
But he basically broke down the regions and like
Like Jalapa, Ometepe.
right. I do
like,
remember
yeah.
specifically him saying like when people think super spicy And you know, the pepperiness that we associate with Nicaragua, that's like most typically jalapa and esteli.
Yes.
So basically, like, we kind of shoot ourselves in the foot by thinking so broadly of like Nicaraguan
Just as
tobacco,
as one
Dominican
monolith.
tobacco, as one thing, and it's really like this is jalapa, this is esteli. Yes, technically they're part of the same like country, but that's
very
not
different
really
potential flavor
relevant.
profiles.
right?
Yeah.
Like the cigar that he gave us was not what I would consider Nicaraguan forward at all.
Right.
But it was, I believe, all the fillers were Nicaraguan. It had a lot of Nicaraguan tobacco in it, and it was like no spice and super complex.
Yeah, I feel like the only
amazing.
the only way that
great.
like a single country designation makes sense is if the climate in the country is
consistent.
consistent all the way through, or the
Yeah.
soil is consistent all the way
Right.
through, and obviously most countries are not like that.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
I kind of attribute it to like, Virginia tobacco.
Sure.
You know, if they're going to grow, basically from like New York to Florida, and that's where you get into like the brights, the reds, the oranges and stuff, those different soils and climates, even though like the East Coast you would consider relatively the same, you're going to get those different flavor
Yeah, I mean, there's a
profiles and
huge
everything
difference
with the
between New
tobacco.
York and Florida.
Right.
The climate. Yeah.
Terroir,
Terroir, thank
would've
you.
thought?
as they call it.
But I mean, same thing with like Nicaragua, same thing with Dominican and Honduras. The different, even though if these places are only like 50 miles apart from each other,
Yeah.
that 50 miles makes such a huge difference in the soil content.
I mean, you've got the
minerals,
mountains
and
too. There's
Yeah,
like
right,
an
yeah.
elevation difference.
The closer, they rave upon about like getting tobacco to grow closer towards like volcanic
Sure.
areas, because the volcanic soils and stuff gives you such a different profile to the tobacco. When in reality, it kind of all starts as the same seed.
Sure, yeah. I mean, yeah.
I don't
So
know.
what are you feeling, Tyler? You're the resident expert at this table. I know you're not going to tell us your guess till the end because you don't want us piggybacking off of you. But what's your origin vibes?
Honestly, if I had to lean towards anything, I kind of want to lean more towards Dominican. It doesn't give me so much of like the zesty floralness that I'm used to with like what I consider Dominican tobacco. But I'm kind of leaning towards a little Nicaraguan too, because it's starting to get a little earthy tone. And I want to say, like going back to our conversation with Juan, like he said, tobaccos from Esteli gives you a little more like earthier, like dirty kind of tone to go with it.
And
So,
this has changed on me a little bit. You mentioned like the muskiness early on. I'm picking that up a lot more strongly now. For
sure.
I'm also getting much more of the floral note as this is kind of going down, maybe not quite halfway here.
I'm getting some more citrusy notes too.
Okay.
Like,
Big time citrus.
yeah, citrus. I'm not going to specify what type of citrus. That doesn't matter. Strength-wise, this is on the higher end of medium for me.
Yeah. I haven't eaten breakfast,
Yeah, I haven't either.
and this was like
Probably
this
plays-
is what I needed to wake me up. For sure.
I mean, I would give it like a little uptick of medium.
So exactly what I said.
Yeah, just a little.
So
I'd give it like a 3.
I wouldn't go quite high.
I see, not high
I would
medium.
say kind of in that middle
quarters.
range.
Medium.
Medium.
Three
got it.
quarters.
Medium.
Not medium, not high medium, but like medium.
medium.
Yeah.
Maybe a little medium plus.
I'd give it about a 3.5
There you
out
go.
of 5.
I know this is definitely not the strength level that Steve likes. 'cause
Right.
He wants to break the knob, go past 10.
Yeah.
You
Turn that up
he
to
wants
11.
spinal tap.
Yeah, exactly.
levels.
like
yeah.
when
exactly.
Nicotina dropped, Steve was smoking those.
Oh,
like
Steve
they were
was
going out
chain
of style.
smoking Nicotina, which I was gonna save this until maybe my guess, but this reminds me a lot of Nicotina. I'll
And
be
you
honest.
know, going back to box press, Nicotina was that soft box
it
press,
was
even though
Bellicoso.
it
It was
had
a
that like
Bellicoso.
109 Bellicoso cap to it.
So yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna guess, but pretty early on, this did out of all of the cigars I've smoked in Warp's portfolio, which I already said the recent ones I have not smoked, but of the ones I've smoked in his portfolio, this leans towards Nicotina.
I just haven't smoked. I haven't smoked a Nicotina, and it had to be like a year and a half.
Yeah, it's been a while for me.
I remember Nicotina making me salivate too. Like, you know how some tobaccos make you salivate, some like kind of dry your palate out, and this is making me
I
salivate.
could totally agree with you, maybe like on a flavor profile level, but to me, Nicotina was just way like pepperier, a little more like kick and strength
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah, it's been a little while since I've smoked one, but I did smoke quite a few like Alan said when they were coming out. I don't think that this is that blend.
Yeah. Do you remember what the components were for Nicaraguan? Was it Nicaraguan
I think it
Dominican?
was all Nicaraguan.
It was a Puro.
I think.
I believe that it was.
Yeah. And it was Aganorsa.
It was.
Was it?
Yeah.
I thought it was Isla.
No, that was Aganorsa for sure.
Okay.
Someone fact check me.
Yeah, I'm always unsure of what the rules are here. If we can.
We'll fact check you at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's bar trivia rules, no cell phones.
That's fair. No, that's fair.
I like that.
I will say I'm enjoying the hell out of this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this is
it's
good.
very good.
Yeah,
Very
if
good.
this is regular production, I'm definitely picking some up. If it's about to come out, definitely picking some up. I don't think they would give us anything that is not available. So, that would
Well,
be-
you know,
Hopefully not.
we do have PCA around the corner.
that's true.
That's true.
This
So
could
it
be
could be
a
upcoming.
upcoming release.
Yeah.
And for anyone watching who doesn't know what PCA is, that is our big trade show of the year for cigar-related products and accessories, things like that.
Yeah, all the big brands have. I mean, all the brands, not even the big ones, have booths, and we go and buy new releases and place
This is
orders
like
and
my
stuff.
Christmas.
Yeah, there's always a lot of new stuff dropping.
Right.
People save their coolest stuff for that release, for that show. Yeah, it's a big deal.
You start seeing like right where we're going on like 2-3 weeks before right now, and you've started seeing everybody on social media teasing what
Yep,
they're using.
yep.
And yeah, it's been like a kid on a playground for me.
Yeah, you're going this year for the first time. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm stoked.
Yep.
Gonna put them to work.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
right. Well, we ready to guess? Or everyone
As
got-
ready as I'm
Yeah.
gonna be.
I've
yeah.
never been less ready.
Yeah, that's about how I'm.
We can
feeling.
wait.
I don't
No,
think
I
I'm
mean,
gonna
we might
get
as
more
well.
ready.
We got time, right, Chris? Yeah. Okay.
I've been unsure on so many of
Yeah.
these, and I've never been more unsure
Yeah,
than right now.
I'm confident that it's warped.
Yeah,
That's-
I'm not even confident in that.
Questionable.
Yeah. Like, what company did Scott work for before work? He might have dropped something else on us.
All right.
Well,
I'll-
okay, now I'm not confident about anything.
Yeah, I'll take a guess. Yeah, I'll say new size of Nicotina.
I think it's a good.
I mean,
Yeah, that's not bad.
I don't think I'm gonna be embarrassed by the guess. I don't think
Yeah.
I'm.
You know,
gonna
I
be.
will.
And
I will
when I
say-
said I'm not getting Nicotina, I mean not any one that I've smoked.
Yeah.
So like a new size,
Could be.
I
yeah.
could believe that the blend could be different in a different.
I just have to be true to what I'm experiencing, and like I said, the closest thing that I've experienced for like this flavor profile from Warped has been Nicotina. So
And I will say, just to go with that, just to make this even harder for you, and I don't think Scott would actually try to even go this far in depth to trick us with this, but I believe there was a sampler pack they made with different unique sizes, and I believe there was like a unique size of
Nicotina.
Nicotina.
Okay.
in
There
it.
wa- it was a
Okay.
Robusto, though. I did smoke that. It was like a 5x50.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, then never mind.
Yeah.
Edit that. out.
I mean, it could be a
tried.
sample of it, but
Yeah.
like, they've
Yeah.
done that before to us.
Yeah. I'm gonna say it is a Nicaraguan Puro, and that it is an upcoming PCA release that we don't know about yet.
that's fair.
That's my guess.
So I remembered what the name of that new
Oh, yeah.
cigar is. Peace Unique.
Piece unique.
Peace Unique.
Oh, yes.
yeah.
That is excellent.
I never.
Is maybe this is Peace Unique.
Nah, Peach Unique's way lighter color.
You think?
And definitely not box press.
It's not box press? Oh, it's not. It's not. Okay, well, that messes my guess up. Thanks
I
a
mean,
lot.
it could
And
be
I'm-
new piece because wasn't Piece Unique supposed to be like kind of a series? Because Piece Unique was based off of Kyle's love of watches, and like a Piece Unique in the watch industry is like basically a one-off that
Yeah,
like
yeah.
there's one of one,
Right.
totally unique type of thing. So I think the idea was he was going to release one-offs basically within the Piece Unique sort of
Yeah.
line.
Yeah,
it could be.
I
Yeah.
could be wrong with it, but I want to say it's going to be like a different version every year.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of thing. Which, by the way, if you guys haven't tried Piece Unique, like just do it. Like
It's crazy.
one of my all-time favorite cigars is the Opus X Angel Share.
Sure, yeah.
And that is the closest thing to an angel
Really?
share I've ever smoked.
Interesting.
Wow.
Like if you took the band off and gave that to me, I would be like, oh, cool, this is an angel share.
That's
And
interesting.
I know a lot of companies don't like being related to other things, but to me, like if you are a cigar maker and someone says, hey, this tastes like Opus X,
Yeah,
that's
that's
a
high-
huge
that's a
compliment.
compliment.
That's a
Yeah.
huge compliment.
Well, no, Tyler's ruined my guess.
Yes.
He just ruined it so that he can guess it.
Right.
Yeah,
That's what he's doing.
I'm gonna say L Titan production, and I have no idea what it is, but I'll say it's made at L Titan.
Okay.
Do you guess components or anything?
Nicaraguan, Dominican, and that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
That's fair.
Okay.
All
All right, bring it home.
I'm gonna kind of agree with Steve. I'm gonna say something different, something new. Obviously, something that you will see on the future of smoking pipes.
Sure.
Component wise, I'm gonna go more with Alan. I would think it's more of a hodgepodge. I don't know. I don't think I could confidently say this is a Puro. I'm gonna say there is some Dominican, some Nicaraguan to go with it. I might still go with my gut feeling of like a Sumatra wrapper.
Sumatra's not bad. It does have like a tea-like quality that I'd like associate with Sumatra.
All right, let's find out.
Yep, let's do it.
Hey guys, Scott Lewis from Warped Cigars. I want to introduce to you the Mystery Review cigar. You are smoking a 6x52 Gellus Family Cigars Absolutos. Gellus Family Absolutos is a completely sun-grown Nicaraguan Puro. We have never made a totally sun-grown cigar before, so we're very excited to bring this to market. It will be available on smokingpipes.com and should ship in the month of March.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, Steve, you definitely get partial credit
Yeah,
here.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Do I get partial credit because Nicotina's a Nicaraguan Puro? Oh no, we were gonna fact check that, weren't we?
Yeah. I believe it is a Nicaraguan Puro.
I'm not gonna give myself partial credit. Also,
So is he saying this is 100% sun-grown tobacco?
I think
That's
so.
that's what I took from that.
That's
and
interesting.
100% Nicaraguan.
That's
crazy.
interesting.
So we've got the first release of Gellus Family Cigars from Esteli, Nicaragua, meticulously crafted at the NACSA factory in Esteli, utilizing 100% sun-grown Nicaraguan tobacco. So 100%
So it's
sun-grown.
made by
I
Naxa?
forgot he was working with Naxa now.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy.
That's a Raul Diesel, right?
Yeah.
So it's featuring a soft box press to amplify the expressive flavors of the rich volcanic soils of Nicaragua.
Yeah.
You were talking about the volcano. With tobaccos from Esteli, I can't pronounce all of those words. I told you I can't read. I don't know why you gave me the phone. Experience a new level of complexity right now from Gellus Family Cigars.
So is this, just to be clear, is this a completely new release or is this a new size?
This is new.
completely
Okay,
new.
so Absolutos hasn't
So
existed
the
before.
Gellus family cigars are relatively new. I think the first one that released was the Moravas, and they were
I
awesome.
believe so.
Yeah, it's like a sub line within Warped. Yeah, I think Steve gets full.
I think
points on
he's
this.
branding it as
Yeah.
like a new brand.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
a
yeah.
separate brand from Warped.
We have them listed under the Warped
Right.
category though.
Right.
Yeah.
Just to make it easier for you guys.
Nicotina is a Nicaraguan Puro with a Corojo wrapper.
And they list the body as medium plus.
Ah.
I think we all kind of won.
No, you lost.
No, I definitely
You and
lost.
Alan lost.
I definitely lost.
Steve pretty much nailed it.
I'll say this is awesome though.
Yeah,
this is
very,
this
very
is
good.
dang good.
Yeah, this has changed on me several times, always in good ways. Just very, very complex, very well balanced. This is a damn good cigar.
Yeah.
Watch your mouth.
I'm thoroughly impressed, man.
Yeah.
And I'm beating myself up because I forgot they were working with Naxa now. And this tastes very Raul Disla blended.
Yeah, shout out Raul as well. Every cigar that Naxa puts out for any brand is
Construction's
killer.
always great.
100%.
Flavors on point.
They're so well balanced.
Yeah.
And yeah, construction's always.
Yeah, I think balance is the best thing. Like I've never smoked a Naxa produced cigar that didn't have a balanced profile.
Yeah, and this is a perfect example of that.
I mean, yeah, we talked numerous times of how like it was hard to tell the components because of how well everything blended together. Obviously, it was a Puro, but all sun-grown tobacco. That's wild.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much to
Yeah.
Warped,
Thanks to Scott.
to Scott,
Thanks to
obviously,
Scott,
and can't wait to have this on the site.
Yep. And thanks to all you for watching this month.
Yep.
That's
Well,
right. He said shipping in March, so hopefully
be
you're
on
going to
this-
see it online soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see you in April.
That's right.